Donald Trump in federal court today. He's facing 37 charges, accused of keeping and hiding classified documents in his home after leaving office. Meanwhile, the number of people running for the Republican nomination is growing. Graham Dodds is a political scientist. Hi, Graham.
Hi, Mitsumi.
So this federal indictment, why is this so much more serious than there was a civil suit for sexual abuse and defamation? There's the state charges in New York for allegedly paying hush money to Stormy Daniels. Why is this one so much more important?
Good question, and it's frankly hard to answer because it is difficult to keep track of all the legal problems that Mr. Trump is facing, right? I mean, he was impeached twice. There was the civil suit in New York. There's a state suit pending in New York, as you mentioned. He might soon face charges in Atlanta, Georgia about election fraud. There could be another federal charge coming regarding Jan 6. But this one today is a big one. It's historic because this is the first time a former president will be charged with violation of federal law. So this is a federal count, a 37-count indictment, felony violations, allegedly, of numerous federal laws. So this is of a bigger nature than the other charges that he's faced so far. And it's quite serious. I mean, potentially, if he's found guilty of these things, he could be facing decades in jail. And, you know, allegedly, he, took top secret documents he wasn't supposed to have. He refused to turn them over. He lied about them, and he stashed them in boxes around Mar-a-Lago. So, you know, when there were all these public events there, hundreds of people were within perhaps feet of America's nuclear secrets. This is a really big deal. And insofar as any of this turns out to be true, it suggests that Trump is even less responsible than we might have thought he was before.
But as serious as you say it is, this and earlier charges, they seemed only to rally Trump's base. Could this actually help him?
Yeah, probably in the short term, yes, I think it will. He intends to fundraise off this, and I expect he'll have some success in that. I mean, look, for the portion of Republicans who are still in love with Donald Trump, this will just add to that. And, you know, frankly, at this point in June of 23, for people who haven't turned on him, it's difficult to imagine what would cause them to finally see the light. And I don't think this will be it. I think for the die-hard, hardcore MAGA Republicans who are utterly enthroned with Trump, they believe everything he says. They believe he's being unfairly targeted by the deep state and treated unfairly. And I'm sure that Trump will fundraise quite effectively off that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a little boost in the polls because of all this.
Now, the Republican nomination, there are now at least 10 high-profile candidates. But if so many Republicans claim to be behind Trump, why are there so many people running against him?
Yes, good question. And I think a lot of them are having a hard time answering those same sort of questions. I mean, look, for a long time now, very few prominent Republicans, elected Republicans, have been brave enough to say anything at all critical about Trump. A few finally are, most notably to my mind, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. But most of the other announced candidates who are opposing Trump are still defending him and saying that these charges he's facing are unfair. Depending on how this all plays out, some more of those might start to become somewhat more critical. But I think many Republicans are still afraid of Donald Trump. They see how he's lashed out at his enemies in the past and how he can command the support of tens of millions of Republican voters.
So is this nomination Trump's to lose, do you think?
Yeah, I do. At least as of today, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the election isn't for, 17 months, give or take, and that's an eternity in American politics. Who knows what will occur between now and then? But as of today, yeah, he is far out ahead of all his rivals. I mean, his closest rival, I suppose, would be Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And we'll see how DeSantis deals with this. He has said that these charges seem to be politically motivated, yet he has refused to sort of apologize for Trump's conduct. And that's a fine line to draw. DeSantis is saying that whereas Trump was very circus-like and had a lot of bluster, DeSantis, has actually gotten things done. And I think that is a line that Republican voters might like. So I would not be surprised to see DeSantis remain in this. But right now, yeah, it's Trump's to lose.
Okay. Thank you very much for this, Graham.
Thank you.